Buongiorno! Have you always dreamed of living in Italy? Well, tune in because I'm going to answer your top questions and tell you how you can make it happen. Who doesn't love Italy? With all of that breathtaking art and architecture, the delectable food from pizza to pasta to gelato, and not to mention that Italy has the most UNESCO World Heritage Sites in the world. There are so many reasons why Americans love Italy and are moving there. And if you're here watching this video, that means that you might be interested in moving there too. So without further ado, let's hop into the top questions I get where you're gonna find out how you can make your move to Italy. Question 1. Can Americans move to Italy? So US citizens can stay in Italy for up to 90 days within a 180-day period. But to move there, to live there, you're gonna have to get your paperwork in order, which means you're going to need a visa. And there's actually a few that you can choose from that'll get you there. You can also move to Italy if you have Italian citizenship. Now, a lot of Americans actually do qualify for Italian citizenship through citizenship by descent. I'll be talking about this in just a little bit, so please do stick around. So I just mentioned visas, so let's jump into it. What are the visas that you can get for Italy? If you're ready to make your move, here are your best options. First up is the student visa. So a student visa allows you to live in Italy as a student, either through a university program or through an approved language program. This visa is just issued for the duration of your studies. Next up is a work visa. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you know what I'm gonna say here. You can probably just fill in the blank. Getting a work visa in Europe as a US citizen is very, hard. Difficult. Not impossible, but close to it. So to get a work visa in Italy, you're going to need a company in Italy to sponsor your visa. And that's difficult because the company has to basically show that there's no qualified candidate, not only in Italy, but in the EU who can do that job. So that's very difficult to prove. It does help if you are considered a highly skilled individual. If you are lucky enough to score a job offer from a company in Italy, then this just may be your way in. The next visa is the elective residence visa. So this visa is similar to the non-lucrative or retirement visas that I've mentioned for other countries such as Spain and Portugal and even France. With this visa, you are not allowed to work in Italy, but you can qualify for it if you can show that you have sufficient financial means to support yourself while living in Italy. And last but not least is the self-employment visa. So this visa is for freelancers or the self-employed who want to work for themselves or set up a business in Italy. For more in-depth information on all of these visas, as well as 17 other countries in Europe and their visas, check out my digital book, I'm Outta Here, An American's Ultimate Visa Guide to Living in Europe. So you might be wondering, she didn't mention the digital nomad visa. Well, this brings me to my next point, and that is the digital nomad visa for Italy. In March 2022, Italy approved a digital nomad visa for remote workers. However, since then, there's just been a lot of speculation as to what the requirements will be, who can qualify, and when it's gonna go live. Just be sure to subscribe to my channel here because I will definitely keep you guys up to date as soon as I hear any new information. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you can stay in the loop. Next up is Italian citizenship by descent. Now, there are thousands of Americans living in Italy who were able to obtain their citizenship by ancestry. So Italy isn't the only country that offers citizenship by descent. So citizenship by descent is just an opportunity for someone to gain citizenship via their parents, grandparents, or even great-grandparents' countries of birth. Many countries in Europe offer this. So for Italy, in order to be eligible to qualify, you just have to show proof of unbroken Italian lineage. Now, I go over this more in a blog post that I have below, so be sure to check that out. All right, so let's talk about jobs in Italy for Americans or for English speakers. I've already mentioned that as a US citizen, you don't have the legal right to work in Italy unless if you are able to acquire a work visa. And to get that work visa, you're going to need an Italian company to sponsor your visa. And I also mentioned that is very difficult to do. So finding work in Italy will be very difficult, especially if you don't speak Italian. Some of the sectors that you may have a better shot at are going to be those of tech, science, finance, engineering, and other highly qualified skilled labor. Now, there may be a possibility for you to be able to work remotely for a company located outside of Italy with this self-employment visa, but it's not something that is very easy to obtain, and you really need to work with an immigration lawyer who really knows what they're doing. Next is the cost of living in Italy. Like anywhere in the world, the cost of living is going to depend on many factors: the region, the city, the location, and of course, your own lifestyle and needs. If you're coming from a medium to large size city in the US, then moving to Italy will definitely be less expensive. On average, Italy is about 30% less than living in the US, but of course, prices have been going up like they have all over the world due to inflation, and in a lot of places that Airbnb effect, where people are taking housing off of the market for tourist rentals, and that is really driving up the rental market and also just housing market in general. If you are looking to live in a major city in Italy, well, you're not going to find dirt cheap prices, but do your research to see what it is you can afford. Daily expenses and rent, like anywhere, are going to be much less expensive in a smaller town or village. I'm sorry I can't give you any exact numbers, but the cost of living is just so varied and there's so many variables that it really will just depend. Let's talk about the best places to live in Italy. If you are moving from the US, these are some of the most popular major cities in Italy. And let's start with Rome. So Rome is the largest city in Italy, and honestly, it is like walking around an open-air museum. People are drawn to Rome not only for its beauty, but also it has a great work-life balance. It's really international, so there are opportunities to build community. It also has close access to the sea, and for being a major capital, it has a lower cost of living than a lot of the other capital cities in Western Europe. Next stop is Milan, the fashion capital, and also Italy's most modern city. If you're looking for a more trendier lifestyle, then this may be the best fit for you. While it is considered the most expensive city in Italy, prices there are still going to be much less than living in other countries in Western Europe. Milan is located in northern Italy, so that gives you not only access to the north of the country, but other neighboring European countries. So it's great if you want to travel around. Another thing to note is that English is more widely spoken in Milan than it is in other cities in the country. Let's hop over to Bologna. Did you know that Bologna is the food capital of Italy? Bologna is a smaller city. There's about 400,000 people living there, and it's also home to the University of Bologna, which means that it's a student town, and not only that, but it attracts students from all over the world. That student population helps to keep prices down, but also gives the city a liberal, vibrant feel. Although Bologna is a smaller city, there's still plenty of happening there, lots of opportunities to enjoy concerts, cultural events, and more. Last up is Florence. Florence is the capital of the Tuscan region, so probably when you think of Italy, you may be thinking of this part of the country. Florence is also less expensive than Rome and Milan, and also if you live here, you're going to get to experience all 4 seasons. In Florence, you will definitely feel that more laid-back vibe, and one of the best things about living here is that there's so much to explore nearby. Okay, let's talk about health insurance in Italy. Italy has an excellent healthcare system, and it is extremely affordable, especially compared to the United States. Now, if you're moving to Italy, you probably won't have instant access to the public healthcare system, so you will need to get a private healthcare plan. In my digital book that I've mentioned, I'm Out of Here, I do go over the common health providers for private health insurance in Italy. So if you want more information, be sure to check it out. Another question I often get is, can US citizens retire in Italy? Italy does not offer a specific retirement visa or visa for retirees, but what they do offer is the visa that I mentioned before, the elective residence visa. And again, this is a visa that you can qualify for if you can show that you have the financial means to support yourself in Italy without having to seek work. And the last thing I want to talk about is purchasing property in Italy. US citizens can definitely buy property in Italy, but just know that buying property there is not as straightforward as it is in the United States. It is highly recommended to work with a licensed and reputable real estate agent. And if you're trying to find one of those buy a home in Italy for $1 deals, please do your due diligence. Read and see what are the actual requirements, where do you have to live, and how much money do you actually have to invest? Because I'm going to tell you, it's not just going to be $1. There's a lot of great videos on YouTube of Americans who have gone this route and have documented the whole journey, so be sure to check those out. All right, that is it. So if you're new here, my name is Seppi, rhymes with Peppy from SheHitRefresh.com, and I teach women age 30 and over how to move abroad sooner rather than never. I myself made my own move from Texas to Spain in 2015 at 35 years old. I've been here 8 years now, and I am loving my life. If you need more resources to help you with your move to Europe, please check out my digital book, I'm Outta Here, An American's Ultimate Visa Guide to Living in Europe. Again, I break down the 18 easiest countries to move to based on over 50 viable visa options. And if you're a woman age 30 and over, be sure to join my next Move Abroad After 30 masterclass and also join my free Facebook community. You can find the links below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a like, turn on notifications, and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on any future Move Abroad content.